I was going for Cuccolini.
You were going for that.
I was going for silly, happy, fun time gal, and instead I gave Slay. It's not our fault that we give Slay so hard.
Like, this is a cute outfit.
It's a cute outfit.
Actually.
With the denim.
Yeah.
And so I think what we're saying is when the apocalypse does come, we're going to look great.
Everyone has to look really good for the end of the world.
At the very least, that's actually something I do really like about the end of the world, like drag, end of the world drag. It's good. And it's always good too.
It's always good.
Hi, I'm the hologram formerly known as Phoebe.
And I'm Jacques.
And welcome to Do You Ever Feel Like?
Where we ask the questions that everyone's thinking and no one's answering.
Slay, how are you?
Weird. I'm weird. I am weird. I'm weird.
How are you feeling?
I feel better. I feel like what we were talking about, like one of us has to be dead and then the other one comes to life.
Neither can live while the other survives. Whatever that is.
Whatever that is. And I think I was like, because sometimes I have mornings. Here we go. I have mornings where I wake up and I'm just like, it is time to work.
Yeah.
Morning routines.
You're like a man.
Shut up.
Men are like that.
Yes, exactly. And maybe it's testosterone levels. I don't know. Whatever. Point is
no. I mean, I'm jealous. I'd love to have a man's hormonal cycle instead of
24-hour hormone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wake up, get all horny. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else men do.
That's it.
That's it. And then just declines after that.
Yeah. Exactly. That actually makes a lot of sense because by 3 o'clock, I'm like not a person. Anyways. Sometimes I have these days, and today was that day, where I woke up in the morning and I was like, I have so many ideas and I have to get them all out and I have to do all my work right now. And then I have days where I actually do like get up and like move my body and like look at the sun and all of that. And that was just like not today. And I pushed myself, I think, a little bit and then had a little afternoon moment. Felt like I don't nap. Who naps? Tell me who naps.
I can only nap on a vacation.
Yeah. Babies nap.
My father calls me this morning. He's on vacation right now and he goes, I could do life like this. I could live like this. And he's like telling me his like little vacation routine. I'm like, yeah, everyone could fucking do life like this, man. Like, he's like, you know what? I think I actually figured it out. I love going for a snorkel, and then I love going for a drink, and then I love like laying by the beach. I love reading David Sedaris. Like everyone likes that.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. That's how everyone feels on vacation, actually. Yeah. That's really funny. Yeah. I can't really nap, but like in the day when I feel weird, I just like do something else. Like, you know what I mean? Like not work, or I lay down and I just like stare, or
you got to change the environment sometimes, right? Like you got to, we got to redirect.
Got to redirect. How are you? How is everything? How is life? What are you reading? What are you watching? What are you doing?
How's everything?
How are you being today?
Okay, so I went to IKEA the other day. Actually, here's how I'm doing. I went to IKEA the other day and have you had their like plant-based ice cream?
No.
It's horrible. And it tastes like it's strawberry flavored. I don't want that. Give me vanilla. And it stunk up my car and now my car smells like strawberry vape. And so I had to drive to Toronto yesterday and my car stunk of strawberry vape because on Wednesday of last week I had shitty IKEA ice cream.
Wow, really? It lasted that long?
Mad? Isn't that mad?
What are our thoughts on IKEA, though?
So I went to IKEA and I learned something.
What?
I went to IKEA and I learned that I'm not in a heterosexual relationship.
No, you're not.
I go to IKEA.
IKEA was the thing that revealed this for
you. And I see these men. Yeah. I'm at IKEA on Wednesday night. Which is when you go, by the way. People are like,
don't go to IKEA on a Sunday, you fucking freaks.
Are you dumb?
Yeah. No.
Are you new
No.
here? You're dumb.
No.
Simon was like, I'll go on like early Saturday morning. I was like, you know who wakes up early and goes to IKEA on Saturday morning? People with 1-year-olds.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of space in our lives to go to IKEA on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not interested in trading that at all.
In any way, shape, or form.
At all. Yeah. So anyway.
For not even to be able to afford the things that I can.
Yeah, also that. Also that.
What is going on? It's getting so expensive now. Anyway, I mean, we know what's going on.
Whatever, anyway.
Whatever.
Oh, and then just another thing, too. I actually think if you're just buying everything from IKEA, you're like the world's most boring person on planet Earth. Because, you go into people's houses and you're like, why did you just ball out at IKEA on a single day?
Yeah.
It's so weird. And it's so expensive. So don't tell me that
it's like
you're
cheaper
doing that
somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I was like, weird, because I was booting around the place, like, It all just looks the same.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, whatever. You're learned that I'm not in a heterosexual relationship because all these men hate these women. Yeah, that's all I do when I go to like stores like that. I'm like, oh my God.
It's terrible.
These men hate these women. I was listening to Savage Lovecast a couple weeks ago, and this woman was like, more bi men need to men need to come out.
Yes.
Essentially. Mm-hmm. And she was like, she made such a good point. I hadn't thought about this, but she was like, because I just don't realize these things. No. I don't realize these things. Mm-hmm. But she's like, more men need to come out because she's like, if I'm going to date a man, I only date bi men because she's like, I need a certain level of queerness in my relationship. And I was like, that's what we're doing here.
I mean, that's like what Mike White is doing, right? With White Lotus. Yes. He's essentially saying, look, get over yourselves, guys. Mm-hmm. Hello.
I love it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Did you watch the most recent?
Kiss.
Exactly.
No, I haven't. I'm like, but I was that child making my two Kens.
Yeah. Because we all were.
Hot.
Exactly.
Wait, not the big water. Not the big water like that. That's crazy. Anyway, so I went to IKEA, and also I'm really into Scott. Oh, actually, I wanted to tell you my new celebrity crush. I'm going to send you my new... Who?
Can I guess?
Yeah, you're never going to guess.
I'm never going to guess because I never know anyone, actually.
You're not, but you're also not going to know who this person is.
Is it a British actor?
Not really.
Scottish?
Yeah.
Who?
Okay, I'm going to send it to you. His name's Frankie Boyle. He's a Scottish comedian. He's in his 50s. Obviously. And I think he's the sexiest man I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
And you know why? This sounds a bit rude. He's sober. I love a sober guy.
I mean, you want to talk about queerness?
I know. You can just lock the heck
sober
in.
men.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to know who's smooching? And then, but I just kind of like, this sounds rude, and I don't mean it in the way that I'm going to say it, but I kind of just like that he's like a bit pathetic. You know what it is? It's like he doesn't care. And that's what I think I'm really into.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but also men that are like kind of, because I don't want like a man that's a slob, but like also like I love that like he's like was on TV and he was like wearing shitty sneakers. And I think that's hot.
Yeah. I mean, I also think too, if there's a certain level of, I think when a man has a certain level of self-awareness of their like gender or sex or whatever, right? Yeah. In the social climate that we live in, like that's attractive. And so if you have a little bit of that, like what's that comedian in the 60s that was basically just like a sad boy, like he would just get up and be like sad and everyone thought it was funny. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like he was like a, oh my God, I don't remember what his name is. Anyways,
the
it's
only
like a similar
comedian
thing.
in the 60s I have was Uncle Arthur. What's his name? Man Overboard.
Yeah, exactly.
What was his name? That guy from Wicked.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Not from Wicked. From
oh my God, this is no. What was I saying?
The sad comedian.
Yeah,
the
like
men,
like
the self-aware.
the self-aware, the sad.
Well, because it's like he's like a feminist, but then he's like also kind of like he's not like trying too hard. That's what I like.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I was gonna say the only
Like, it's like-
we're not weaponizing the sadness, and that's what I
Yeah,
think
it's
is
like
important.
clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's not incelly, right? And
Right.
it's not like yeah. Like you have to wash your butthole.
And
you know
he's
what I mean?
Scottish?
But like, and he's Scottish,
Well,
and I
you
listen to
love
his
that accent.
podcast.
Duh.
I don't really, not really.
Really?
I don't get the accents are hot thing.
You don't?
I've never understood when people are like, "Oh, this accent,"
Oh,
except for Irish. Except for Irish, Irish accents.
I was gonna say Andrew Scott.
Andrew Scott. Hey, we can't talk about it.
No, we can't talk about it.
we
at
can't
all.
fucking talk about it.
I also kind of like. I guess I was gonna say from Wales, but that would be Welsh.
Welsh. The Welsh accent. Welsh people sound like they're fairies. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
So that's who you're into.
So that's my
right
new celebrity
now.
crush because I'm really because also my new hyperfixation is Scotland.
Specifically, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And I want to learn more about is it called sectarianism?
Sectarian. Secularism? No.
No, it is sectarianism.
Okay.
It's like the idea. It's yes, like a religious political like rivalry between Catholics and Protestants. And I think so. I want to learn more about that.
Okay,
and I
Protestants?
want to have sex with Frankie Boyle so bad.
Yeah, Protestants also. They're kind of slay. You'll see. in
I
your
don't really
research.
know anything about it.
You'll see.
What's the difference?
Well, I mean,
I know that's the whole thing with all religious things is just like
who we hate. There's not. I mean, you know how like you like. Well, I mean, Protestants are not Quakers. I don't want to say that at all. But do you know how you are like kind of into the Quaker thing? Like you
Yeah.
think it's kind of like about like community and everything.
I just think that like religion is kind of a sleigh minus all the God stuff.
Well, yeah, because what we're talking about when we talk, yes, because really what you're saying
Yeah.
is community is nice.
Community and ritual and blah blah blah.
A nice outfit, a look.
What I'm saying is I love outfits. Yeah. And I was saying that to you today when they fucking whiff the incense down the middle of the
Yeah.
aisle.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love that.
Yes.
Catholicism, I've said it before. We've said it before. It's a major sleigh.
It's a major slay. I honestly think that the whole reason Isabella Rossellini took the part that she took in that movie
For the outfits.
is because of the sleigh of that
I
film.
still haven't seen.
The costuming, the design, the use of color. It's like very, very beautiful and scary and horrible. And they did a really good job. And I just know her, right? Like I know what she likes, her, Isabel and I. You know what I mean? Like we're on the same level.
Yeah.
And she's considering the aesthetic. She's considering what she's going to be
100%.
surrounded
She's a seasoned
by.
professional.
Yes.
She's so stunning. I'm rewatching 30 Rock right now because I'm bored out of my gourd.
Yeah.
And gosh, she's beautiful.
And she has literally, I don't know, 5 lines in that movie, maybe.
That's so funny.
And she's so good in it. And they're like, maybe 10, maybe 15, but they're very, very good. She has very little scenes and she's great in it. And now I'm like, what is this movie that I'm even talking about? It's called The Conclave.
Yes, I think everyone knows what you're talking about.
So shall we get to the question?
Yeah, what the heck are we doing here today, Jacqueline?
Why is that? Oh, I don't know. I have no,
That's none of my business.
Yes. Okay, so the question for the week is, do you ever feel like end of the world?
It's the end of the world as we know it. What's that song?
Do you ever feel like doomsday? It's
no.
the end of the world. It's doomsday. So first of all, Phoebe, I think what I'm interested in knowing from you is, do you feel like doomy and gloomy I think I want to start there. Do you feel like, are in your way of life, in your body, when you get up in the morning, are you doom and gloom? Are you like, everything is awful and terrible and I don't want to do anything?
No.
Okay.
I think whatever my like predisposition is in the world, genetic makeup, star sign, etc., the breakfast cereal my mother fed me. Yeah, I mean, the first thing I wake up in the morning and feel is pain coursing through my body.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I want to off myself, but for other reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you said I woke up this morning like so lopsided today. It took me like a good chunk of time to just get up. Mm-hmm. But anyway, other than that, yeah, maybe, yeah, like, part of it is disability, I think, is I tend to skew cheerier. And that, I will also say a good chunk of that is me forcing myself to, because I don't, and also we can call it trauma. Hey, we can call it trauma.
Right.
I don't think it's all that useful for me, and also intersection of privilege too, to be like doom and gloom. Like, nothing actually irritates me fucking more on planet Earth than a man complaining about how horrible everything is, where I'm like, you have every single white man complaining about how horrible things are. You have every single like privilege, access point, like power, ability to do better, and you're not like, my in-laws, when they like, and like even Simon, when they start like bitching about things, I'm like, shut the fuck up. This is your problem, not mine. It's not even mine.
Yeah.
So that's how I tend to skew cheerier, just because I don't think that like a good chunk of the time, like doom and gloom is all that productive.
No, I don't think it's productive.
I'm pretty good at being someone dealing me a set of cards and like dealing with them.
Yeah.
And having my feelings about it after the fact. And that's trauma.
Yes. Survival is maybe what you just described.
Yeah.
I think that I agree. I don't know if it's all that helpful. What I do believe it is, based on like, okay, the world of the internet, or not even the world of the internet. I'm going to get into how like this kind of trope and idea is coming up kind of like everywhere for many reasons. I think it's like a lens at which we view action. Actually, it's like a lens in which we view, it's like a way in which we like look at what, like, I don't know, how we filter the world around us, actually. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that I don't actually think doom and gloom is doom and gloom. I actually think that doom and gloom is joy, is scary, is like weird, not scary, sorry, is weird, is joy, is fun, is play. It's actually, it's like a device that we're using to be like, okay, what's next? Where do I go? How do I be? How do I behave? Yeah. Like if we think it's the end of the world, if we think it is doom and gloom, then like how are we going to be? How are we going to be different?
Doom and gloom is camp.
Actually, yes, it is.
Doom and gloom is fun and games.
Doom and gloom is fun and games. For survival, like you were saying, right? Like, and for a few other reasons. Okay, so anyways, so I've been like thinking about this. I'm like seeing all this stuff, whether it's art, whether it is television, film, whether it's like comedians, whether it's like internet meme, like, culture of like, if the aliens are coming, this is where they'll find me, like that kind of stuff, right? I got to thinking about like where and how is this reflective of like where we're at as a people, as a world, And I got to just like thinking about the absurdism of the like discussion of if it's the end of the world, like the layers of like discussing if it's the end of the world on our $1,000 phones. You know what I'm saying? Like discuss like that whole thing. Like I think it's kind of interesting. So then I was like, oh, we're actually in an absurdist play.
all the world's a stage. That's why I always think it's funny when people are like, what if this is the Matrix, man? Like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, so what? Like, it's still life. Like, even if you are right. Which, also, I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but I am wearing that tinfoil hat as I say, hey, man. Anyway, this is going to be used as evidence for something, surely. Anyway.
And that's what I was thinking about. Like, if the aliens came, exactly, like this idea of like, if the aliens came, what would they find? And it's gotten to be so meta that it's like the aliens are like, you know, they're in their like little spaceship lab that they brought down, and they're like in there and they're studying us, and they're like, oh, everyone starts to freak out, and then they start to make art about freaking out, and then. Anyways, I just found it to be like, you get like kind of this kind of like thing of like, the thing about absurdism is like, you, if everything means nothing, then like we like everything means nothing, it takes a little pressure off. Yeah. But also the thing about absurdism is that if everything means nothing, then we have an incredible amount of responsibility and like actual freedom to create meaning, you know? So I just wanted to just take us through a quick history lesson, if that's all right.
Philosophy 101?
Yes. Because I was like, I'm pretty familiar from absurdism just because of my theater background, but I was like, where does this come from? And I didn't realize that absurdism is actually like grows from the tree of existentialism.
So it's French.
Exactly.
Actually, it's, yeah.
Well, Kierkegaard, who's a Danish philosopher.
You seeing Kierkegaard wearing this outfit is fucking nuts, but okay. Also, for listeners that don't watch. I'm not gonna say anything. Jacqueline, yeah, exactly. Okay. Jacqueline asked for ingredients today for the stage.
I did, because you know what? We're here to slay. Okay.
It's the end of the world. Anyway.
Kierkegaard was a Danish philosopher, and like, what, you know, kind of like I'm sorry, I can't. Okay, we gotta hold it together.
Just go on. Yeah.
As a Danish philosopher, and he kind of studied human condition, and then what's his face, which I'm not gonna be able to pronounce, the French guy, Albert Camus. Thank you. Picked up Kierkegaard's shit and was like, oh, I'm going to study it some more and basically discover, or like basically create this idea of absurdism, which is like the perceived meaningless of the universe and like how we create meaning, essentially.
Do you want to know something funny?
Oh, sure.
In Canadian French, like if you do French in school, what do I want to say? Like French immersion. So you can go to school in Canada and speak French all day. There's a unit on existentialism.
Exactly.
Isn't that funny? It's like part of the culture.
The French understand.
Yeah, they're like cigarettes, smoking.
I'm like, Les Mis. They understand
exactly. One day more to revolution. We will nip it in the bud. We'll be ready for these schoolboys. They will wet themselves with catch 'em in a muck, rock 'em when they fall. Never know you're looking. There's a free for roll. Okay. Anyway,
so there's like these core concepts of absurdism. One is the absurd, like this kind of meta concept of a human experience is about searching for meaning in a world that actually offers none, like truly. And the point of being alive is to like try to search for that meaning. Rebellion usually is the next core concept. Yeah. Where like there's like ingredients of the world.
At the barricade of freedom.
And we're trying to like rebel against that. That maybe the freedom and responsibility that comes with no meaningless is like scary. And so we try to rebel against it. Meaninglessness is the third one, which means like, you know, we're ultimately all alone, which is scary. And then there's like this call to action, which is the fourth one, which is embracing the absurd. So rather than like denying it and shriveling up on our couches, or I don't know, like going doom and gloom, kind of what we're talking about in the beginning, right? The call to action is to embrace the absurdity of the thing and to like face it head on and to create our own like sense of freedom and responsibility, like within the weirdness of the world, right? I don't know if I'm making any sense with these. I'm trying to translate philosophy to the best of my ability.
No, I love it. I think it's funny. Like I that's why I am kind of so obsessed with religion without ever having, and I actually wouldn't say I'm so obsessed with religion as I am like deeply curious about it, despite I didn't grow up with religion at all. And I like, it makes so much sense to me, right? That like humans, all we kind of do is look for meaning making systems, whether it's like religion or astrology or like signs, sigils, patterns. Like we're all looking for that thing. And we can call it, whether or not we call it maybe like, like, I don't know, you could do that with art. You could do that with theater. You could do that with so many different things. And I think it's funny that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Humans have like, I think it's sweet that humans are constantly doing that. Or like, I don't know, I was looking at my plants today. Look, my ranunculus behind me is like,
oh, wow,
blooming right now.
Thriving.
And it's slay. And I'm like, it's spring. Everyone's fucking. You know, the trees are fucking, the birds are, you know, ratting each other. Like, and that is slay. And my brain is like, I'm like, oh my God, like, look at all these like available metaphors for everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, or it's just spring. Right. Or it's just a cycle. And I just think it's funny that like we want our brains want that. Our brains are wired for that, to like look for the thing to like grab onto.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. And actually it's been a pattern apparently in history where the more we are faced with the more the world sucks and we're faced with our responsibility of it, the more we like fight the absurdity and the meaninglessness in order to kind of soothe ourselves. We then go to like find community or respite or rest in these places, whether that's God and religion or other community. Like everyone's fucking obsession with third spaces right now. That's for another time. Because actually what we're doing is we're like fighting it and we're like getting exhausted, and then we like go and get respite and like energy from each other, right? So like actually there's been this like pattern of like, everything sucks. Let's go a little insane and get freaky and weird. Okay, now we're tired. And then everyone like joins a church. Yeah. You know what I mean? To dumb it down to like its simplest of patterns in history.
I think it's funny right now with people who are like, everything's so bad. I guess it's maybe just, okay, I've been thinking, a way that I like feel okay in the world right now is like, and once again, I'm looking at myself saying this with a literal tinfoil hat on, and it's making me laugh. The way I feel okay is I think about, you know, like my ancestors, whether that's like direct lineage or like, you know, my queer ancestors or like the people that came, like whatever, people that came before me and who had it like so much worse. Like I'm not saying the world is good right now, and I'm not saying it's not in a trajectory of good either, but it is so much better. Like, hey, we have vaccines, you know, like that's great. Like, hey, we have healthcare. We have ways of being better. I'm just citing health as one of them. I've been looking at like my ancestors. I've been thinking about these people, and I think that like I get fuel from that. I look at people that have been in this place before in far worse circumstances and won and like and persevered. You know what I mean? And I think it's, if we don't look to history, then we forget that it can be done. I think like hopelessness is so easy. It's so easy to feel hopeless, I think, right? Because it requires your imagination to imagine better.
Yes, exactly. And one of the tools that we do that through is absurdity. right? Through imagination. And also through kind of this, like, that's what I mean when I say, like, we've gotten really, like, meta, because it's almost like there's this, like, theory or this, like, lens of talking about things in the world now through apocalyptic speak or end of the world speak or doom and gloom speak. Like, for example, the amount of, like, Substack essays on the democratic apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
Like how we don't there's no such thing as democracy anymore, right? Or like, which, like, look, not arguing, I'm just saying, like, there's like a way that we can kind of cipher through our feelings and cipher through these things we're talking about is through this absurdity of the world ending or apocalypse or whatever, right? And I also think that's similar to saying things like we're going through a revolution, right? Which, again, I'm not, like you're saying, we're not arguing that, you know,
I'm not saying anything's
we're not having to fight for people getting their vaccinations right now, right? Or we're not arguing that, like, maybe there is a democratic apocalypse. It's just like a way that we're trying to understand what's happening as humans, right? And again, like, we have been here before. The greatest example of this that I came to pretty quickly was you know, the Depression and circuses and variety shows.
That's funny.
And, like, kind of this, like, the whole, like, kind of point, like the dark point, which was kind of is, like, scary, but, like, and weird, but again, absurdism is, like, kind of like step right up to, like, these weirdos because your life ain't that bad, which was like the purpose of the circus.
You're not a fat one with a fucking beard.
Exactly.
Cheer up.
Exactly. Like, you know, eating.
Look at this guy's face. It's fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of thing. And it's like, which has its, like, place in a way, which I don't think want to, like, look at sometimes.
Oh God, no.
No.
There's that there's this movie, what's it called? It's called Freaks. It's like an old, like, 1930s movie where it's like the freaks, like, fight back is like it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's so upsetting.
It's so upsetting.
But let's talk about it more. You know?
Yeah. And, like, again, I'm
a whole other episode
because
whole other
on a
thing.
podcast. I'm no way, shape, or form saying we should all start, like, bringing out the freaks in a tent. No.
Hey, I want to just be really clear. I'm not advocating for freak shows.
All I'm doing is saying that, like, there is a correlation between economic and social upheaval and, like, how freaky we start to get in the ways we process our, like, existence. Whether that's through going to, like, you know, the circus during the Depression era, or, like, clowning as an art form, which started in, like, commedia dell'arte, which I always say wrong, back when, right? Go ahead, tell me what it is.
Do you mean, I don't know what you're trying to say right now.
Commedia dell'arte.
Dart? Yeah. Dell'arte.
Dell'arte?
Commedia dell'arte.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We can cut that out.
No, we're not.
Commedia dell'arte. That's what I read that as. Anyways, point is that there's been these patterns and these themes.
Oh, you might be right. It's Italian. It's not French. You might be right.
I was just wrong about the location. Italian.
Yeah.
Okay. Other places this have come up in, like, history is avant-garde, right? So, like, you know,
well, and then, modernism of, like, the 1930s and 40s and stuff like, and then even,
or like abstract expressionism, right,
into, like, the 60s and 70s,
psychedelic art, during, like, the 60s and 70s, exactly. I mean, even if we wanted to get real dark, vaudeville, you know, during slavery, or, like, minstrel shows, right?
Yeah,
I feel like there's comfort in that, again, to be absurd, right? There's, like, we've been here before, we've tried to create meaning in these, like, insane ways, you know. What?
Yeah. It's true. No, it's the sunglasses this time. You looking off into the distance, gesturing with
It's actually a lovely day out. You can probably see Philly in my sunglasses.
Yeah, love it.
Point is, we've seen this in history. We've been here before. The fact that, like, we're looking at it on social media apps in, like, skits and comedian stand-up and memes and television shows is like interesting. Maybe is like new territory in some ways, but also this isn't. Like this is how we've tried to cope in the past. Some of my
and that's so important too. Like I think whatever your like respite is, like you need that. Like you need to be well resourced enough so that you go out and fucking do something. And I think that's the line, right, that we're kind of contending with all the time is like you and like what I started with saying, like privilege too, like there's certain things that like as a white woman that like it's my responsibility to like get up and like fight, say shit, protest, vote, etc. Right? Yeah. Remind other people. You know what I did? We have an election coming up again, and I did this, and I didn't know if I was being a bit of a weirdo, but I did. I was like sending texts to like people in my family to remind them to vote, and they're like, "Oh my god, thank you."
That's not weird at all.
I don't think it's weird at all. I think it's the thing that you need to be doing.
Yeah, yeah. And again, like I think what's interesting is like you and I have such a different. The fact that you're Canadian and I'm American, like, and this is another point I wanted to make about this is like, I think this is like a Western country problem, or yes, like totally. You know what I mean, or like
because
trend.
People would love to fucking
like,
vote in other places in the world, and then like I also think it's funny too when people are like, oh, we should be like Australia, you have to vote.
Yeah, interesting.
Which I don't really think is the answer either, but anyway.
Anyways, so some of the things that I think I've seen lately that I think are what you're talking about, which is like the social responsibility of it all, and also like let's be like little weirdos and clown around are some of the people that I think are doing this well is Chris Fleming, who you and I really, really like.
Yeah.
There's so much commentary and so much happening in Chris Fleming's comedy, but also we're being asked to go into like a very absurd place with Chris. And I think
what feels good about the absurd is like this kind of soothing. It's kind of like somebody's finally saying the thing, right? Like that's what I love about David Lynch is like you put something on screen and he doesn't fucking say anything about it. And he's like, I said what I said, you know? And I find that to be quite relaxing. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah. And I think he's not, I don't think Chris is necessarily over explaining in any way, shape, or form. I just think he's like incredibly culturally aware of like who he's talking to and their privilege and responsibility while he is, you know, chatting about parenting Gracie Abrams at the end of the world.
I don't want to raise Gracie Abrams as my own.
So funny. I'll drop that
I'll edit it
video into the link, but it's so funny.
How do you feel about Handmaid's Tale?
Okay, now, I think this is like a whole other thing.
Because people keep talking about that lately, and they're like,
it was like Handmaids.
Yeah, and I'm like...
Yeah. So...
But I don't have very loving feelings towards Margaret Atwood, but that's just because she was like shoved down my throat as a child. You know what I mean? That's your option as a female writer in Canada.
Yeah.
Also, my sisters, shout out Margaret Atwood. My sister walks by her house all the time.
Oh yeah, Canadian.
Margaret Atwood, you can come on the pod anytime.
Yeah, please. You come tell us how you feel about Handmaids. Actually, no, we won't talk about Handmaids because that'll bore you. We'll talk about something else.
She's gone on record as being like, I don't want to be right.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So that's how I'm like, well, how do we feel about this?
Right. But
I've also never watched a single episode and I've never read her work at all. You know who also loves Margaret Atwood is men. A lot of men I know like Margaret Atwood.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny.
Okay, so here's what I have to,
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't have an opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think there's like, okay, so there's like Phantasmus, right? There's like Euphoria. There's even like, what's that other fucking show? Severance. That has like a little bit of absurdism in it. And like these like weird shows where we can like go to another place or something. And then there's like the opposite of that, which I think is like Handmaids or like these weird apocalyptic movies that we've been seeing. Like there was this weird movie about a civil war breaking out in the US with like...
Oh yeah, the Kirsten Dunst one.
Yeah.
I'm like, we could just turn on the newscast.
Yeah, like there's like that side of it that feels a bit dark, that feels a bit realism, actually. That feels a bit like, you know, like, no, thank you. And I think it can, I don't know. Again, I don't know how, like you were saying, helpful shows like Handmaids are. And I'm only saying this because of the internet, are turning to that for some sense of safety or doomsday planning, or like, this is what rights they might take away next thing.
Yeah.
That feels weird to me. Feels a little scary and weird.
I think it's funny to me when people, so something I saw, this is also like an old interview, I'm pretty sure, when something I think about a lot is this Bjork quote of like,
it's already happened.
The apocalypse has already happened. Like, this is the bad time. And I'm like, ooh, I love that. Like, that's actually extremely soothing to me, right? Because that means, like, you know, the scorched earth, like, we can only rebuild, right?
Exactly.
And I'm not saying, you know, we lose people and the whatever. Well, once again, I'm not trying to like gaslight anyone saying anything's fine. But I do think that's like a really helpful thought to have, is just like, or not help. I don't know. What am I saying? Do I even mean any of this? Who knows? But I like the idea that like, actually, yeah, this is the apocalypse. The apocalypse has already happened. And like, that means we actually have like autonomy, right?
Yeah. In any of these stories,
choice.
yeah, in any of these stories, whether it's Handmaids, whether it's Parable of the Sower, shout out Octavia Butler, because I feel like Margaret Atwood just like, it's like Margaret Atwood like owns that genre in some weird way.
I guess so.
Right, whatever, that we know why. And then, you know, even like that war movie that I just talked about, right? Or like, zombie shows, like even like the horror of it all, right? Like the underlying message is always like, like everything burns, you know, a flower can grow from ashes, whatever, right? Like we come back kind of thing, right? I just think for like my nervous system, I would rather that message be received by Chris Fleming on stage talking about, like, fathering Gracie Abrams or parenting, whatever, Gracie Abrams.
You will be making protein Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah. Then some of the dark, terrible shit that's in Handmaids, right? Like, that's just like, for me.
I agree.
You
me
know.
too. Like, I don't need to. I'm good. I'm good on that shit.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What's your role in the apocalypse?
My role
Who are you?
in the apocalypse?
Because this outfit's kind of giving like ruler vibes. Like, I may find you in a cave. Yeah. Like, overseeing.
I think my role in the apocalypse, and I think everybody that I just talked about's role, and arguably your role in the apocalypse, is to do what we're doing.
I disagree. I am boots on the. I'm running. I'm a runner.
Oh, you are a runner. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a messenger, maybe, or something. I'm something physical.
No, I'm not.
And you won't see me for 3 to 6 months because I'm you. I think you sent me out somewhere.
I think, yeah. You mean like Dune?
Yeah.
Vibes. Like, who am I in
Dune
Dune?
isn't apocalypse. Dune is space. Oh wait, and then
true.
also let's not forget, because we did talk about this already. The fashion of the apocalypse is going to be great, but the soundtrack,
even better.
Apocalypse noises are great.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You know, like that when we're out. Do you ever read Tank Girl at all?
No.
Tank Girl slay. I don't know if the movie holds up at all, but I loved Tank Girl.
Interesting.
But it was similar. There's no water. There's no water in Tank Girl.
Yeah, the soundscapes of the apocalypse.
The soundscapes of the apocalypse. At the very least, the soundscapes are going to be great. The fashion is going to be slay.
And
the entertainment.
High. Is real high. And we have been here before. We're going to be here again.
I agree.
The entire point of the end of the world, the entire point of the doom and gloom is like, it burns down and we rebuild. And that there's hopefulness in that.
Yeah. Can I say something? Get off your damn phones.
Oh, sure.
I see these people complaining about the world, like my friends, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, this is bad. I feel horrible all the time. And then I open up their Instagram stories and they're boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
Stop it. Get off of your damn phone.
Yeah.
Go smooch a tree. You need to look a flower in the eye. You need to talk to a real woman. Stop it. Oh, I don't know why I feel like shit all the time. Chuck your phone into the river, but don't, because it's bad for the environment, I assume. Right? I just like, it's like doctor, hurts when my elbow does this. You know?
Yeah.
Don't do that then.
Don't do that then. Exactly. Yeah. Yes, you can say that. You can say that. Yes.
And I did.
And you did. And this is what I was saying. Like, everyone who's writing about this, contending with this, creating podcasts about this, us included, are sometimes saying shit that I can get down with, you know what I mean? And sometimes it is, yeah, actually, why did you write that essay? Why did you say that thing on your phone? Put that away. What is that doing?
I'm okay with the writing of the essay more than I am the 5,000 Instagram stories and then someone saying, oh, I don't feel good.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not doing the things I want to be doing. It's like, put your phone down.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like, oh, we're going to go through a
drawer.
recession, or we're going to go through an economic crisis. And it's like, okay, so I don't know, maybe don't buy that.
Yeah. And like give money to your local coffee shop.
Maybe invest in things that you want to make sure survive.
I think what's really funny that's happening, like I think I might have been telling you this, all of these like Canadians are so pissed off right now. You go to the grocery store, and which also just as an aside thing, something that really irritates me lately is people just assuming I'm American on the internet all the time.
Oh, that's my fault. I'm really sorry.
It's not your fault. I think it's like obnoxious when people like you say something and people just assume you're American.
Or people
I think
that's assuming anything about anyone. I find it obnoxious.
It's just really bizarre to me. Like whatever. I just think American imperialism. It's a whole thing. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh no, I was going to say Canadians are really mad.
Oh yeah, groceries.
This whole like, American tariff stuff. You go to the grocery store right now, even the big box grocery stores will have little markers made in Canada. Like people are really, really pissed off here, and like people are really spending their money.
Yeah.
They're really not spending their money in the States. And so that's what I think. It's like, all this shit's going on. It's like, well, then act accordingly,
Yeah.
And if you want these businesses to survive, like, I think I mentioned this, the bakery down the street from me, they're like, hey, if you guys really like us, like we need you to come in today.
Exactly.
And I think we need reminders of that because we're just on our damn phones all the time and we're like, this is so bad. But it's like, if you go out and into the world and you move your body and do things and get off your phone and make some art, fuck it. Like it literally, it changes things. It makes a difference. It actually makes a difference. And I know we can kind of get caught in that like feedback loop of like nothing. And the French, which by the way, also French existentialism is not about, I'm not saying this to you. I'm saying this to the people.
Oh.
It's not about
Giving up.
like hopelessness. No, it's like that nothing matters. Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Like I think we have like the wrong understanding of existentialism. It's not like everything's so bad.
Yes.
It's nothing matters and like life is what you want. It's actually, I think, quite a hopeful.
Oh yeah. I think it's really hopeful.
Thought process,
I think
philosophy.
Exactly. That's what I think of, like, to bring it around town to the beginning of this, like people who are like think they're being doom and gloomy. I'm actually like, no, you're not. You're actually quite hopeful. You're actually quite joyful.
Yeah.
Actually, the fact that you're creating this meme right now means that you do think that the world will be fine. Because you
I like
are,
the idea.
you know what I mean?
I think we found your role in the apocalypse. You're like, you need a staff. One, you need a staff. You arrive. It's kind of like reverse Joker.
Oh yeah.
You're kind of the reverse Joker. You don't like, you're like, haha, you're happy.
Actually.
Yeah.
Get over it.
I like the idea of being kind of threatened into happiness. But me, I'm a runner.
Messages.
Yeah. And I'm
You're really strong.
so ripped.
Yeah.
Because my shoulders, they're getting big now, but you see me in the apocalypse.
Mm-hmm. No, that's
Whoa.
not me. No, that's not who I am.
No.
I'm
You see
definitely,
me?
I've stayed in one place. It's slay.
Yeah, the cave looks amazing. And that's really where the soundscapes are happening.
Yes.
Actually, no, the soundscapes are happening in the cave. It's like whoosh, whoosh. But then for me, it's that like that apocalypse cry.
Mm-hmm. Choose your look, choose your sound, choose your location. Let us know. Where are you?
And get into it.
Yeah, get into it.
Anyway, is that the ep? Is it the ep?
I think it is. I think it's the ep.
Haha, you're hopeful.
Yeah. We're gonna be okay.
Because it has to be, right?
Yes.
Like it has to be okay.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna be okay. And I think that's kind of what you were saying. These are the things that we need to do. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Invest in yourselves. Go out in nature.
And I think you got to make stuff.
And make things.
Like you got a bad feeling. Cool. Alchemize it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Stop posting on Instagram. It's embarrassing. Okay, anyway. Okay, bye.
Bye.